guys, welcome back to ACR Outdoors. On today's episode, I'm actually going to go over my new build. I've built myself a new Mews for this year, and I'm going to go over a little bit with you guys and show you how I built it. So yeah, let's get at it and I'll show you some stuff. So as you can see, I'm on the inside of it, and I've made, so it's 10 feet tall by, it works out to like 9 foot 2 inches, because the way I did it was I bought the metal roofing for the walls, and each panel is 3 foot. It's actually just a little over 3 foot with the overlap. So when you work out, all I did was worked out laying 3 sheets down on the ground, took a measurement across the 3 to figure out what I wanted my exact outside measurement to be, so that it would end up, let me just bring you outside, so that my corners ended up like this with an overlap. So it's a nice perfect corner that just wraps over the metal over the other side. And then I didn't have to do any extra cuts or anything to the metal, so it was just as the metal was when I got it. So like I said, it's 10 feet tall because I went with 10 foot lengths of the metal roof. So I left them at the 10 foot. And then all I did was, these were some beams that I had from back when I used to have a sawmill. So I had these, they've been drying for like 3 years or something. I think it's some hemlock or something, so they should do all right in here. And then all I did was, as you can see, I strapped a 2x4 from one side to the other in the center. I did one along the floor, which is about 2.5 inches up off the ground, because I didn't do pressure treat, so I just wanted it to keep the moisture off by keeping it up off the ground. And then there's also one that runs across the top as well. And then as you can see, I ran 2x4s for supports for the roof up across, and I did those every 16 inches on the top. And I only went with 2x4. I had talked to a few people who built these chambers or Mews before, and that 2x4s are plenty, especially the strength of the metal with snow sitting on it. It can handle quite a bit of weight. So I'll keep an eye on it. If it gets too heavy, I guess I'll just go up and have to shovel it off, but I'm not overly concerned. I just went with 2 panels on the front, and then the leftover section of panel is what the door ended up being. So as you can see, so now my door, except I still gotta fix some of this predator proofing at the bottom, because the door just gets caught, so I might dig it up a little bit so that the in front of the door is a little bit lower, and then maybe fill it with some gravel or something. But yeah, so the door, once closed, actually seals over top of where the other panel was. And you can see I put in a 7-inch window on the door, and I put a 24-inch window above the door, which faces kind of to the, so obviously this way here is to the south, so it's not like directly south, because if I was to go directly south, the window would have been facing the shed. So I figured I'd put it on this side, which would give it, it's going to have sunlight coming in through the window at least until around noon, and then there won't be as much light. It's still got light in it. I'm actually past noon right now, and there's still some light in here, so it should be okay. If it ends up being a bit of an issue, I'll end up I'm thinking of maybe moving the window from here and putting it onto the south facing wall, but we'll see how that goes. As far as predator proofing, so on the outside, what I've done is, you can see this runs all the way along that 2x4 that runs that 2.5 inches all the way around. I've then attached this 1/4 by 1/4 galvanized meshing. I've ran that all the way around, and I've attached it with some washers and screws, but then all the way around where the bottom of the metal roofing attaches, it's going to help hold it in as well, which now this is going to make it that if raccoons or something come and try to dig underneath, they're obviously going to have a tough time. Well, actually, I have landscape cloth that I was thinking of doing in here, but I haven't 100% decided yet. Some of the research I did says that natural floor, ground or grass floor, is actually much better for the bird. It's all obviously going to be better for, easier for cleanup and stuff like that. So I might try it with the grass first and see if it's a pain cutting the grass in here, because I can already see, like, I've already cut in here, but the grass is already starting to grow. So obviously I'm gonna have to come in here with a weed eater and clean up with that. So for now, I might leave it. I'm obviously gonna block, whether I do it from the outside, I'll block where the light's coming in from underneath so it doesn't look as obvious, or lower. I could even dig down that post. It's sitting on a high spot. So if I dig down that post, I should be able to get rid of some of the light that's across the back there. And then probably gravel, at least on the outside of the predator proofing, to keep that pressed down is my plan. Back to the windows. So like I said, I put in a window over the door and on the door, and I used 1/2 inch conduit piping. It's galvanized conduit piping, and it actually ended up working out well. And then all I did was figure out where I wanted them on the 2x4, took my measurements, marked the centers, and I think I went 1 inch in on each one, and then 1.5 inches center to center, which gives me 3/4 of an inch space between each bar, and just measured it across, drilled each of the holes out, and then installed it, which you'll see in the video. And you can see I did the same thing with the door, but because I wanted it to be on the same flush face, I drilled the holes on the smaller end of the 2x4. So framed again with 2x4s, just hinge on the top and the bottom. My plan is to put this latch is going to be for locking it on the outside. So I'll be installing that. And as for perches, you can see I don't have any perches in here yet. I'm going to have one bow perch that's going to be on the ground. I'm thinking of putting like a corner box, nesting sort of box back up in here with a ledge on it, so it'll have a perch on the front. And then I'm probably going to run a full length perch out from this top wall that would probably be sitting up close to the ceiling. And I might even do a full length perch from this wall across to that wall as well. And then I'm even considering doing like a rope that's gonna loop from one corner up to the other corner, that then it could just loop across. So that's the plan for perches. And I will do another video once I get those all installed and figure out kind of more how I want it all set up. So the plan for this year is that I'm working already on trapping Passage Cooper's hawk. It's been exciting trapping so far, and there's going to be some really cool videos coming up showing the whole process that I use for trapping and us trying to get a Cooper's hawk. So those are going to be coming out. I picked up an English setter pup this year for pointing on birds, since I'm going to do a Cooper's. So one of my main focuses is going to be on grouse. So the training on with him has been going really well. We bought some chuckers that we use for training. I'll show you some videos on how we train with those, where we can actually put the chuckers to sleep and then hide them in different locations for the dog to then go out and point on and flush, which works out really well, and he's doing really well with it so far. So there's gonna be some cool videos coming out of us training him and how that whole process works, as well as we possibly will be trapping another redtail later this season. I'm probably gonna wait until more into maybe October, November before I start trapping a redtail, but that's the plan, that we may have a Cooper's this year and a redtail. So that being said, what else do I got to tell you? Anyway, thanks for tuning in and watching, and if you guys like these videos, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and feel free to comment down below if you want more information on some stuff that I'm doing. And yeah, again, the plan for the Coopers is I'm gonna bring you guys through the whole process again, like I did with the redtail, right from trapping to training to hunting, and it's going to be super exciting. I look forward to putting out the videos, and I look forward to running a dog under my hawk, and we're going to be grouse hunting. It's going to be epic. So be sure to subscribe if you guys want to check out some of those videos. Until next time, we will see you on our next ACR Outdoors adventure. See ya.